I found a nice little spot to sit and shoot me a quick little video. You know, I really don't know what's up with the women today. People in general, but mostly the women. I'm seeing that a lot of the women drinking the same crazy potion or that same abracadabra shit or that hocus pocus shit, but whatever they drinking, they also about the shit from the men. And it just amazes me that women do not know men at all, but women know men. Men know women very well, but women don't know men very well at all. And I mean, women have no clue at all about anything about a man. They think the careers and all the stuff is what we want. I'm at Papa John's. I'm ordering a pizza. Huh? Say what? I ain't hear you. Okay. So, as I was saying, the women don't seem to know the men, but the men seem to know the women very well. Women don't have a clue of what men want, what we like, what men look for in a woman, but men know exactly what the women are looking for in a man. And every time you ask the women what they're looking for in a man, they don't get it, they don't understand, and they never say the same things. They all say the same thing and they never get the things right. And the things that a woman is looking for is not what we're looking for in a woman. And when women get older, it's like they never thought about what it would be like when they got older. It's almost like women have gotten older and waited super late to make their decisions on having someone, to a point where now they're in a bad situation, like they're in their 50s or late 40s, and it's pretty much over, okay? I want to be honest, it's pretty much over. And the women are still sitting there trying to be picky, have all these expectations, make all these demands, have all these preferences. And it's almost like they think that the men are not, the men that they want are not regular men. They're not picking an average guy or a below average guy. They're trying to pick the men that still have a lot of shit to offer, and the men that are above average is what I call the men above average, because they're not picking the average guy. And the above average men that the women are picking, they think the women are looking at it like those men do not have preferences, or those men should not have any preferences or expectations for what they're looking for in a woman. It's almost like the women feel like they should be excused from all the reality, and the men should still pick them because that's what they want. And they don't understand that the men have very strict preferences when it comes to a successful man that has his money or have his shit together physically. It's just not, they're just not going to be easy to deal with. I've heard a podcast where a woman said men are easy. And she's like, they're as easy as a burger, a cheeseburger. Another fat girl said that men are easy. Let me say something about that to these ladies and to the women that are looking for men as they're older, wanting certain specific type men. Men are easy to sleep with, some of us. But when it comes to relationship or when it comes to marriage, men are very complicated. When it comes to living together, men are very complicated. We're not easy because we have certain preferences and things that we want, and we know what we want, and we ain't settling for less than that. So men are not easy in that sense. Okay, we're just not. And the ladies are just completely lost. They have no clue. They're just wandering around. They don't know anything about the men. And it's everywhere because I'm having older women approach me that knew me from way back and are coming to me, or people from school from way back after they had children. Life has happened and they've had marriages and it didn't work out. And they're on the dating market and they don't understand that. Listen, ladies, men control access to relationship and marriage, and women control access to sex and babies. Okay? Women in the marketplace, when you go back to the sexual marketplace value, which is where you're at, you're on the market and you're trying to sell yourself and you're trying to put a price, you're not being reasonable. You're putting an inflated price on something that is completely depreciated. Okay? Let me put it this way. Okay? You guys are the sellers on the market and the men are the buyers. The buyers determine the price of what the sellers are selling on the market because it's what the market is willing to pay for it. And women really don't understand that. And so they're putting an inflated price on themselves that that's not the price. And women are not understanding that men can go get younger women with a lot less baggage, with a lot less life lived, that ain't been married, that don't have children. If he's going to pay for it, he's going to get the most that his money can buy, the best that his money can buy. He's not just going to take anybody because you want to talk to him. That's not the way that we work. We never worked like that, and we're never going to work like that. The sooner the ladies understand this, the better off they will be. But men have options, and they're going to exercise their options. Men are going to, if they have to pay for it, they're going to get the best that their money can buy. They're not going to just date and take anybody, especially when you're talking about marriage, especially when you're talking about living together. They've already done study, and the dating statistics show that most women who have divorced never even get to live with a man again. They can never even get a man to come live with them again, and let alone get married again. Most of them never marry again. And I don't think the women are really looking at the numbers or understanding how men minds work, that we're wired a certain way and we just not going to let off of that or change. A man is going to look at where you come from. Your past matters. Just like when you were in school and you had grades and you had semesters, they had to look back on all that, give you an overall GPA. This is the same thing. That tells who you are and how you conduct yourself in school. Your past tells who you are and where you come from and what you've been through now. So it lets the man have a heads up on who he's dealing with and where you came from and what you've been doing and the type of decisions that you have made. And what I'm seeing from women, I mean, it's a video, I got it too, where there's at least 10 women on the video, if not more, maybe 12. And they're talking about how many baby daddies they got and how many children they have. And they're sitting there like it is a normal thing, and men are just cool with that. And they're on a dating show looking for another man, and ain't no man gonna date them. Ladies, men don't want women like that. We don't want women with multiple baby daddies. We don't want women with more than two, 3 children. And if you got those children, you got to look really, really good and have something to offer and bring to the table if you want the man to accept you and your children. Men don't want to raise other men's children. It is a losing deal for the man. It is a liability for the man. It's a benefit for the woman. It's a liability for the man. When the woman decides to leave, he has to let go of the children and the woman and all the money he done spent. And he's not the biological father, so he has no legal rights to the child. Everything's bad for the man. I watched a woman get up and walk off a podcast when the guy told her that. It was the truth. It's almost like the women want the men to live in a false world. Ladies, listen, this is how I see it. God lives in the truth no matter how ugly or pretty it is. And if we accept lies as our reality, we're not going with God at all. None of that is about God. I stand with God. I believe in telling the truth. I don't care about your personal feelings. Men weren't put here to make your lives better. You were put here to be our companions, not the other way around. I had it out with 2 women that contacted me. It was multiples, but 2 that really stood out recently, where I had to tell these women that biologically the men are just superior to the women. And I watched another thing where 2 women, where a woman was sitting there saying how her friends were having a very hard time conceiving kids and having difficulties in their pregnancies, and they were over 35, and they were being demonized for it, and this and that, and the man had to tell her, because that woman was acting like this was a natural thing, and the man said that ain't natural. You have control over that. When you get to 35, you at high risk when you cross 30, going into 35 to have children. This is why the women are losing their children, because once you in your later 20s, the eggs go bye-bye. And it's true. A lot of your eggs go bye-bye when you go to 30. And then when you and then the men are not wanting the older women, because the older women are having a harder time dating because they can't really have children like that. And they waited late to have those children, and they can't do it. And so the men are just choosing younger women. And all the women faces dropped when the man said that. And he said this is why older men are looking for younger women, because the women who are waited too late to have their children because they chase their careers and their jobs. And this is why they're in that situation. He said these are all the decisions that you made. So if you end up with 2 cats or a dog, 2 dogs, or 2 cats or plants, this is why you got it. And all the women was quiet. You could hear a pin drop in that motherfucker, because they couldn't say nothing, because he was giving them data, facts, and statistics. And it's true. If you chase the money and chase your career, there will be a price to pay for that in the end. Ladies, that's just what it is. Okay? If you chase your careers and your jobs trying to be men, you will pay a price for that. As the lady was saying, her friends were paying the price, and she didn't understand it. And then when he said this is why older men go get younger women, because the men can still make babies. We don't have the issue with making children that the women do. Our values are not the same. A woman is in her prime in her earlier years. A man is in his prime in his later years. We don't start developing our full muscular body until we in our 30s. That's why you got bodybuilders at 60 and 70 and still look good. Women do not understand that when a man is in his prime, his best years is in his later years. So why is he gonna pick the older woman that done lived life and done went around the penis carousel, and then chose not to date and chose to go get the career, the job, and all the stuff that we don't value? We don't value that stuff because you ain't giving none of it to us. And the sooner the women wake up and understand that you can't do what men do, because the man is sharing his stuff with you, you're not sharing your shit with him. So we can't count something we can't use. You can't say, well, my job, my career. We don't care about that stuff. We care about physical like you care about job and careers. We are 2 different species looking for 2 different things in people and each other. And this is what I had to tell the ladies that came to try to talk to me. This is talking about marriage. We ain't looking for the same things. And it was the truth. And they could not accept it. And I had to show it to them and explain it. And when I did, they got quiet. They didn't say another word. And I had no issues telling them that, because they would disappear, go back and forth, pop up, disappear, pop up, disappear. Ain't nobody dealing with that. Nobody wants that. Nobody got time for that. Okay? So I just wanted to say those few words.
I'm 35. I'm thinking about starting a family. Everyone in my friend group is either dealing with struggles to get pregnant, losing babies that they wanted to, or finding a partner and they want to have kids, but they haven't found someone. Or a number of them just have chosen it's not the right path for them. And that we demonize and shame people on the most personal, private decisions.
Well, Alicia, in the examples you just gave, you presented most of those issues as if they're out of your control, but they're not. The risk of miscarriage rises with age. Fertility drops significantly in the late 20s. The eggs go bye-bye, okay? So, of course, your friends struggle to get pregnant. Of course, they lose babies that they wanted when they choose to have children after 30. And naturally, finding a man becomes harder, since men consider the factors I just mentioned, and so they look for younger women to have children with. Now, all of these are results of prioritizing your career over having kids at a younger age. And it's not demonizing women to say that. It's just so if you end up with 3 cats, you can reflect on why you ended up with 3 cats.
All right, it's a nice night. I like the lights out here. It's very nice. It's cool. Good. Check it out. There you go. So, there you have it. All right? Have a good day.